Hey everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Nathan, James's brother. He's out of town right now, so I'm stepping in to cover for him. All right, let's dive right in. Hey guys, so the XRP SEC case, it's finally done. We've all been sitting here waiting forever for this moment, and honestly, it's not exactly breaking news at this point, right? I mean, this whole thing wrapped up like a week ago. But here's the thing, after they made the announcement, everyone started freaking out with all this FUD about whether it was actually over or if we'd be stuck waiting around forever for the SEC to officially confirm it. Well, guess what happened? We didn't have to wait long at all because boom, the SEC just dropped their update. So this thing got posted on the 12th, and it's the official document release that goes along with their announcement saying both parties filed their joint dismissal. Now, here's the full scoop. Even though it's dated August 7th, they didn't actually release it until the 12th. And basically, this document just lays out the dismissal from both sides. So, yeah, this is crystal clear confirmation straight from the SEC that the case is completely done and dusted. Now, I've been saying this for ages. Once this whole legal mess gets wrapped up, we're going to see a massive shift happen with Ripple and XRP. I know that they're rolling out RLUSD too. Man, RLUSD is about to see some incredible momentum. And when I say momentum, I'm not just talking about price pumping, I'm talking about real adoption, major partnerships, getting out there in front of way more people. There's going to be so much activity buzzing around Ripple, XRP, and RLUSD that we never would have seen while this case was hanging over everyone's heads. I'm honestly pumped that we can finally close this chapter. This thing was like this massive roadblock just sitting there holding everything back. But now, there's literally nothing standing in XRP's way from smashing through to new all-time highs, getting picked up everywhere, and actually being used for what it was meant to do. Ripple's got nothing holding them back from expanding and teaming up with some seriously big players, in order as shit could die. And hey, RLUSD could totally be part of those deals too. The sky's really the limit here, and honestly, I think we're about to see some major news drop around Ripple, XRP, and RLUSD. Speaking of clearing the air, Hester Peirce dropped a post saying that last week the SEC finally put their Ripple case to bed for good. She called it a welcome development, and for good reason. Now that all that legal drama is behind them, the SEC can actually focus on building clear crypto regulations instead of being tied up in court battles. Talk about a clean slate. Now they're laser focused on actually creating that clear crypto regulatory framework. And Paul Atkins jumped right in, backing up Commissioner Peirce by saying she's absolutely right. He's like, with this chapter finally closed, we can stop spending all our time in courtrooms and start getting down to business at the policy table. His whole thing is building regulations that actually encourage innovation while still keeping investors safe. And here's the kicker. It looks like we're about to see a massive transformation across the entire crypto industry. This is all part of that Project Crypto initiative Paul Atkins announced. It's honestly pretty exciting to finally close the book on what was basically the biggest crypto case ever and actually start moving forward on stuff that'll help this space explode in value. And I'm not just talking about flashy announcements here. I'm talking real adoption. So much progress got held up because of this whole legal mess. Here's what a lot of people won't admit, though. When we think about Ripple, we tend to see them as just another private company that's only in it for the profits and money making. But here's the thing you've got to remember. Ripple isn't just chasing profits. What they're really trying to do is push crypto toward mass adoption. And now that all those legal roadblocks are gone, they're free to actually make that happen on a massive scale. I honestly think this whole court battle was holding back way more than we even realized. Everyone was just fixated on XRP's price movements, but there was so much happening behind closed doors that we're only now starting to see. With this case finally in the rearview mirror, we can actually focus on all that other stuff. So let's dive into something pretty exciting, how XRP is expanding with RLUSD. Epic Chain dropped some news on August 9th that's actually pretty huge. They announced that Epic keeps building out its XRP-based infrastructure, and they're aligning their entire real-world asset stack with RLUSD. Here's where it gets interesting. Through this planned Ripple USD integration, Epic is basically embedding a native USD settlement layer throughout their whole ecosystem. We're talking tokenized real estate, credit, commodities, collectibles, the works. This is massive news, and now they're locked and loaded with RLUSD when they were already all in on their XRP native setup. And that's just adding another layer to the whole thing. Then on August 12th, we got another big piece of news from Mesh. They're now supporting RLUSD too. So RLUSD just joined their roster of 50+ supported tokens, which means merchants can now accept it at checkout. That's another massive expansion right there. Now here's something really interesting that everyone's been talking about. You know how people kept saying most of the RLUSD supply was sitting on Ethereum? Well, check this out from VETX0. Looks like there's been some serious movement happening. You're calling it the rotation, and it's pretty wild. RLUSD is actually shifting from Ethereum over to the XRP Ledger. Look at this. They burned 20 million RLUSD at the RLUSD treasury. You can see this on Etherscan. And then just 4 minutes later, they minted 20 million RLUSD at the RLUSD treasury on the XRP Ledger. 4 minutes apart. That's some serious coordination right there. This is a massive move. And honestly, it's a huge signal that RLUSD is going to really take off on the XRP Ledger moving forward. Just look at these numbers. RLUSD hit 642 million, which is up 24% in just the last 30 days. And get this, monthly transfer volume is sitting at 3.37 billion, up 28%. Monthly active addresses and holders are also climbing big time. But here's what's really catching my attention. XRP Ledger's market share is up about 13%. And in the last 30 days alone, it's up over 30%, actually beating out Ethereum. We're getting close to that $100 million mark for RLUSD on the XRP Ledger, and you can really see the momentum building. Check out these XRP Ledger stats. Stablecoin market cap is up 75% in the last 30 days, and RWA value up 60% in that same time frame. This is seriously exciting stuff to watch unfold. Stablecoin adoption on the XRP Ledger is absolutely taking off. You can see it's not just RLUSD either. There's USDC growing, plus a few other stablecoins like EuroP jumping into. But I'm really excited to see more of these stablecoins, not just landing on the XRP Ledger, but actually growing and expanding there. Right now, some of them, like EURP, are sitting at practically zero value. But I totally expect that to flip going forward. But here's where it gets really interesting. Monica Long just dropped some major intel about what's actually coming to the XRP Ledger now that Ripple's legal drama is finally behind them. Shout out to Subjective Views for catching this. So here's what she's saying. Ripple is absolutely laser focused on building up liquidity across all the key currency pairs. They're doing this primarily through their cross-border payment solutions, with XRP playing that crucial bridge currency role. The whole game plan is cutting out all that friction from cross-border payments, which totally fits with their bigger mission of actually making global financial systems work together seamlessly.
Launch a Ripple dollar stablecoin. We saw two things. One, which is the reality that the stablecoin market is big and it's getting bigger and bigger. So from a few $100 billion today to growing to, 3 to 4 or 5 trillion, depending on what forecast you look at, dollars in market cap over the next few years. And that's because I think the world is really embracing and realizing the use cases for stablecoins beyond just speculative crypto asset trading. The second reality is that stablecoins have been central to our payments business. So, to use blockchain to make cross-border payments a lot faster and lower cost, we've been using stablecoins for a while now. And so, the more ownership we can take of our product suite, the better. I think there's two kind of long poles to making stablecoin payments the norm, or to make them really explode in growth globally. One is connecting blockchains to domestic systems. And that's really, that's been the hard work of Ripple over the past, several years, is building the network itself. And, you know how it is in payments. There can be many different ways to achieve that through different strategies. But the second key thing is, I think, liquidity. So you think about FX markets in 2024, there was upwards of $200 trillion in FX volumes, but in stablecoin volumes, it was like $25 trillion, mostly through speculative trading. So the next challenge that we have as an industry is to now create the breadth and depth of liquidity for stablecoins across key currency pairs like AED and others. Ripple owns many XRP tokens. We also staff a team of core ledger developers who are always, continuously working on and innovating with the ledger. So I think, one, we have always been working in service to build use cases that make use of the attributes of the XRP ledger. So that's why we've been focused on payments from the beginning, because it was always kind of built for payments. And yeah, I think that having the competencies in-house between, blockchain development as well as the commercial teams building the solutions on top of it has been beneficial.
The US market is their playground. We're about to watch them unleash on all those juicy use cases that were completely locked away. Monica mentioned FX markets, and man, those are sitting ducks waiting for someone to shake things up. Picture this, $7.5 trillion flowing through FX markets every single day. That's buy a small country kind of money that's now in play. Cross-border payments, hold on to your hat. We're looking at $194 trillion right now, and it's expected to balloon to $320 trillion by 2032. That's not just growth, that's explosive expansion. But here's the kicker, stablecoins have already crashed the party and become the life of it. They're sitting pretty with $262 billion locked up and pushing $3.36 trillion in monthly transfers. These digital dollars are basically giving traditional payments a complete makeover. So with Ripple finally having free reign across all markets, they can take RLUSD and spread it across the globe like wildfire. I'm really excited about how RLUSD adoption is about to take off. We've been seeing all these amazing announcements and acquisitions lately, and the Rail Financial one really caught my attention. That deal was massive. Think about it. Rail was processing $10 billion annually, had partnerships with over 12 banks, and could settle transactions in just 95% of cases instantly. That's exactly the kind of stablecoin infrastructure Ripple needed to get their hands on, plus it comes with tons of institutional connections. Since Ripple is laser focused on the institutional market, everything we're watching unfold right now is creating this perfect storm for Ripple. XRP and RLUSD. That's why I keep telling people, once this legal mess gets sorted out, there's literally nothing standing in XRP's way anymore. And honestly, I think that's exactly why we're seeing RLUSD adoption and growth exploding right now. The market opportunities keep expanding too, like when Transic went live with RLUSD on July 9th, or how Doppler Finance started rolling out their RLUSD vaults. The integrations around RLUSD just keep coming. And get this, by the end of July, Blue Chip actually ranked RLUSD as the #1 most trusted stablecoin in the entire market. That's huge. When you look at what's happening right now, especially with all this traditional finance money pouring into crypto, I really think they're going to gravitate towards something like XRP. I mean, it's literally the top made in America coin according to CoinMarketCap, plus it's sitting at #3 by market cap. That's not nothing. For big enterprises and institutional players who want to dip their toes into crypto, Ripple is honestly their best bet. They just got completely cleared legally, which makes them the safest option out there. These guys have been working hand in hand with institutional clients for over 10 years now, and they've absolutely crushed it in that space. What's really cool is that Ripple isn't just about XRP anymore. They've built this comprehensive platform where institutional clients can access blockchain technology in whatever way works best for them. It's like a one-stop shop for serious players who want to get into this space properly. We're about to see massive adoption and exposure to traditional finance through Ripple, XRP, and RLUSD. It's going to be incredible. You know, I kept saying this whole legal case was this huge roadblock, even though some people got way too worked up about it. I've always believed this was all part of the plan, and man, I'm just thrilled to finally see it wrapped up. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more perfect. Just think about it, 2025 is shaping up to be the year for institutional adoption. We're seeing regulatory clarity happening left and right. I mean, seriously, could the stars have aligned any better than this? This is what gets me so pumped. This is literally the perfect storm for XRP, Ripple, and RLUSD.